Each time a coin rang into the coffer, a soul leapt free from purgatory. A haunting phrase, one that echoes through cathedrals, cobbled streets, and the corridors of religious history. But what if I told you that this phrase wasn't just metaphor, that it was in fact the economic engine behind one of the greatest architectural and political powers in human history? Welcome to a story of faith, fear, corruption, and the fortune that built Rome. Before we dive into this gripping tale, let's unravel a mystery that's been puzzling history buffs for centuries. Have you ever wondered about the identity of the man who initiated the Protestant Reformation? Well, the answer is Martin Luther. He was a German monk who challenged the practices of the Catholic Church during the 16th century. But why is he so important to our story today? Stick around and you'll find out. Now let's turn back the clock and transport ourselves to 16th century Germany, where the stage is set for an economic and religious revolution. We meet Johann Tetzel, a Dominican friar who's been commissioned by the Pope to travel the Holy Roman Empire selling indulgences. For those unfamiliar with indulgences, they were basically a get-out-of-purgatory free card. It was a concept that had evolved over time, allowing people to essentially buy their way out of spending time in purgatory, a sort of spiritual holding area for souls before they reached heaven. Tetzel, known for his charisma and persuasive skills, had a simple message. Give money to the church and your loved ones will be freed from purgatory. His most famous slogan, as soon as the coin in the coffer rings, the soul from purgatory springs. This catchy phrase combined with Tetzel's powerful sermons created a frenzy. People flocked to him, dropping their life savings in the collection plate, hoping to secure the salvation of themselves and their families. And where did this money go? It flowed directly into the coffers of the church, funding one of the most ambitious building projects in history, the rebuilding of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. Originally constructed in the early Christian era, the basilica had become overcrowded and dilapidated. Now the plan was to demolish it and construct a new basilica in its place, a project that would redefine Renaissance architecture and cement the power of the Catholic Church. With the funds pouring in, construction began. It was a race against time and resources, driven by the ambition of popes and architects alike. Michelangelo, Bramante, Raphael, and other luminaries of the Renaissance contributed to the project, creating a masterpiece that would stand the test of time. But amidst the awe-inspiring beauty of the basilica, there's a darker story unfolding. The money used to build this monument was, for the most part, the product of fear. Fear of hell, fear of damnation, and above all, fear of death. The common folk who donated were often uneducated, living lives dictated by religion and tradition. They heard Tetzel's message, believed it, and acted on it. Was it a scam? Well, that depends on your perspective. From the church's point of view, they were fulfilling a role they believed was divinely ordained, collecting funds for good works and providing people with a way to secure their salvation. From the perspective of the donors, it might have felt like salvation, but it was a salvation bought with the last morsel of their worldly possessions. As the basilica neared completion, cracks began to show in the church's grand facade. Enter Martin Luther, a German monk who would forever alter the course of religious history. Luther, educated in theology, had grown disillusioned with the church's practices. He saw indulgences as nothing more than a clever means of extracting money from the faithful. In 1517, he penned his famous 95 Theses, a list of propositions for debate that challenged the church's authority. These theses, which included sharp criticisms of indulgences, were nailed to the door of the Castle Church in Wittenberg, Germany, marking the official start of the Protestant Reformation. The impact was seismic. Luther's ideas spread like wildfire, igniting a movement that would shatter the unity of Christianity and reshape the religious and political landscape of Europe. The sale of indulgences, once the lifeblood of the church's finances, came to a halt. Meanwhile, the construction of St. Peter's Basilica, though nearing completion, was now overshadowed by the growing schism within the church. When word reached Rome of Luther's rebellion, the church authorities were furious. They excommunicated Luther, declared him a heretic, and prepared to crush the nascent Reformation. But it was too late. The genie was out of the bottle. Princes and kingdoms broke away from papal authority. New Protestant churches were established. Religious wars and persecutions engulfed Europe. The mighty Roman Church was being challenged in ways it had not anticipated. As the dust settled and the map of Europe was redrawn, St. Peter's Basilica stood as a testament to both the grandeur and the corruption of the Catholic Church. Its vastness was a symbol of the Church's former power, while its opulence served as a reminder of the questionable means by which it was funded. Today, visitors from around the world flock to Rome to marvel at St. Peter's Basilica. They come to experience the spiritual significance, the architectural brilliance, and perhaps to pay homage to one of the most important churches in Christendom. Few, however, are aware of the darker story that unfolded during its construction. Few know that the very foundations of this iconic structure were laid with the coins of the poor, the fearful, and the desperate. Few remember the chilling words of Johann Tetzel: "As soon as the coin in the coffer rings, the soul from purgatory springs." It's a story that raises profound questions about faith, exploitation, and the lengths to which power will go to sustain itself. In a world where religion and commerce intertwined in unexpected ways, Rome rose not just as a seat of spiritual power, but as a monument built on the shifting sands of fear and forgiveness. If you enjoyed this video, I invite you to delve deeper into our rich collection of historical tales. Click here to explore more captivating stories that bring the past to life. And while you're at it, don't forget to like and subscribe for a front row seat to our latest historical deep dives. Your engagement fuels our journey through time. Thank you for watching.